This is why you need to bring measurement and data to the center of your process for trying to change the world. Hey there, world changers. In this video, we'll be diving into the first chapter of my book, How to Save the World, and we'll be getting stuck into why you need to bring measurability and data to the center of your strategic and creative process for trying to figure out how you're really going to change the world. So here it is, chapter 1, Measure It, and it starts with this quote that says, if you can't measure it, then it probably doesn't exist. And when we apply this quote to our strategy to try and create change, we have to think about it like this. Is our project or startup or idea actually showing that it makes measurable change? And it's a piece that a lot of people miss out. And this is the essence of it. If you can't show evidence that your idea or project shifted the numbers on the cause, then the change probably didn't exist. And unfortunately, a lot of projects aren't able to show evidence that they're actually working. And that's what we're going to get stuck into in this chapter 1 on measurement and data. Now, if you've seen my earlier talk, or maybe my TEDx talk on creativity and optimism, you might be wondering, why am I so obsessed with measurability and data? Doesn't that make you less creative and have less great ideas? Well, nothing is further from the truth. When you start taking a deep dive into the data about your issue, whether it's water pollution or carbon dioxide or trees or species extinction or whatever you're passionate about, when you really start looking into the numbers and you also keep your creative brain on working at the same time, you will discover the best ideas you've ever had from looking deeply into the numbers. And if there's one thing you can get out of the essence of this book, it's bringing measurability and the creative process together into the one process. It's something I love to do more than anything, is really look deeply into data about the world and then try and keep my brain ticking over how to come up with ideas for how to change the world. And I really think that I can teach it to you if you go through the steps in this book. Making sure that your world-saving mission is actually making measurable and change might sound incredibly obvious. Okay, of course we have to make sure it's actually creating change, but you would be surprised how many people get it wrong and how it tends to not be at the center of a lot of strategy. I wouldn't have had to put this chapter in the book if everybody was already doing it. And what I found so interesting that Bill Gates wrote about this exact topic in his 2013 annual letter. And I put it in here in its own page because I think it's so important here in the book. And I'll read it out. He writes, "You can achieve amazing progress if you set a clear goal and find a measure that will drive progress towards that goal in a feedback loop." We'll get into that later. This may seem pretty basic, but it is amazing to me how often it is not done and how hard it is to get right. Really bringing measurement and data to the center of your strategic and creative process will unleash your very best ideas, and it will put you right at the coalface of the exact change that you really want to make. And I wanted to go over 9 reasons why you really need to take data and measurement seriously. The first one is that will help you define your exact problem. Sometimes people want to work on green housing or renewable energy or species or gender equality. You need to pick out of that issue a very specific number that you want to focus on. And then you'll know exactly what you're trying to change. The second one is that you'll know if your project is working. When you look at the numbers, you try your project, you then can see if your project actually affected the numbers, then you'll know if your idea works. The third is that a good focus on data will give you a united vision and mission. You've probably been in organizations before where everybody's arguing about what are we here for, what are we doing. When you can distill that into a number, you will get everybody you're involved with, your members, your supporters, your donors, subscribers, the media, schools, organizations, whatever. Everybody bound together in a united mission to help change that one number. And the fourth is that will filter into your team's motivation. When you've got a whole group of people with a united mission to help change one single number, Everybody is motivated to make that happen. The fifth is data and measurement will help you design for action. When you're looking at the numbers, you're measuring the numbers, you're constantly thinking about how do I get people to take action to change these numbers? How do I get people to take action to change these numbers? And that is the headspace you want to be in to come up with great ideas, and that is how changing the world innovation happens. And that is point number 6, that data will help super boost your innovation. The more you look at the numbers, the more ideas you'll have that will inspire people to actually take action. And number 7 is disclosing the data all by itself just changes things. Putting the numbers on a product, on a screen on the wall, just on a poster, on your website. Simply putting the numbers out there for people to see will create change on its own. It's kind of magical. And the 8th is that it'll help you bypass silly or not so good ideas. Sometimes we can get caught up with an idea that just isn't going to impact the numbers. And taking a shrewd, measurement-driven approach to asking where is the evidence that this idea will change the numbers will help stop you wasting a whole lot of time and resources on bad ideas. And the last one is data and measurement should help you reduce people problems in your organization. You've probably been in one of those meetings where the person with the loudest voice starts talking on and on about like a really dumb and expensive idea. Put every idea through the filter of asking the question, where is the evidence that this idea will create measurable change on the thing that we're trying to actually change in the world? And that is the essential mind space you want to be in for making sure your project will really have the impact that you want it to have. Make sure you get a copy of the book, How to Save the World, and start working through the exercises. Each chapter has exercises at the end, and as you go through these, they'll really help guide you through the process of how to really understand your data, to help build the foundation of how you can have amazing ideas that really can change the world. And if you love this video, make sure you give it a like, leave a comment below so I can get to know you. If you haven't already, sign up to my website, katiepatrick.com, and I will see you in the next video.